With Five Nights at Freddy's Ruin coming out in just 2 days, I thought it'd be a good idea to showcase all of my Five Nights at Freddy's plushies that I currently own right now. They're the one thing I mostly collect from the franchise, mostly because the figures, whether hard to find or not many of them are that good or worth showcasing. Plus, I have some pretty valuable plushies in the Five Nights at Freddy's plush community. So with that said, let's get started. Just a heads up, I will only be doing these in the order of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. Mostly because I don't own half of the Funko line, namely the Black Light plushies. Anyway, enough stalling, let's begin with the first game. Next up is Golden Freddy, which again looks a lot more better than the others, though there are some dust and lint because I haven't really taken them out for cleaning, though maybe I should do that one day. There's a piece of string here, though I'm not gonna pull it. And I did also for the rest of the Wave 1 plushies, I used glow-in-the-dark paint to give them like that glowing eye effect, which is why Bonnie looks like he has a disease in his eye. So, yeah. First on our list is Freddy Fazbear, which might look the most accurate to how he does in game plush form. We got Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, which I tried fixing the eyebrows and attaching a custom cupcake onto her hand, and I think I just decreased the value on this by 100, but then again, who wants this plush? When you of course can have the better just not the cupcake. The better plush of Chica, which of course this one is made by Sanshi, which sadly I don't have the other versions of, but I love this plush, and this is the main reason why I bought it, because it looks better than whatever the hell that is. Next up we got Foxy, which I believe has seen better days. Its tooth is all bent, his hair split apart from itself, and his eye, though I tried to make it look glossy with my hot glue gun, ended up making it worse, so I had to fix it up the best I can. And also, I gave him an extra eye because Foxy definitely needed 2 eyes, that's for sure. So I know that was just me being dumb when I was a kid, so if I had the chance I would have not done. Next up is Golden Freddy, which again looks a lot more better than the others, though there are some dust and lint because I haven't really taken them out for cleaning, though maybe I should do that one day. There's a piece of string here, though I'm not gonna pull it. And I did also for the rest of the Wave 1 plushies, I used glow-in-the-dark paint to give them like that glowing eye effect, which is why Bonnie looks like he has a disease in his eye. So, yeah. And to go with the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 wave, I also have another Golden Freddy from YouTube's, which I love this thing, also because of how shiny it looks. It makes this thing look more valuable, and I hope it does in the future. But that's FNAF 1 done, now on to FNAF 2. First off, Toy Freddy, which I do really like, even though he's just a darker version of the standard Freddy, but I like it nonetheless. Toy Bonnie, which I have seen complaints about because of his mouth, but I don't really care at this point. It's Toy Bonnie, and that's all that matters to me. Toy Chica, which is probably the better version of that plush over there, but yep, good nonetheless. Then here we got a 2-for-1 Mangle, or in this case the original Funtime Foxy, and the Mangle, which even though people sometimes claim it's to be Nightmare Mangle, but I'm calling him Mangle because that's what it is. And Shadow Freddy, which I know this is a bootleg, but the person who sold it to me on eBay years ago said it was him, and I don't even. Plus, you could even see the inside of the hat, which I don't like. If I could get my hands on an original, I would. The puppet, which I really like as well. It's a decent attempt on the puppet, though people complain about the limbs, but I don't really care. Now for something to flex on. Yep, you're looking at it now. I have a Funko Rare Balloon Boy plush, which I am really happy I own this thing because looking at it in here, it looks pretty good. I don't know what to say. I'm the proud owner of a Balloon Boy plush. FNAF 2 already done. Now on to FNAF 3. Just a heads up, I do not own the Funko Phantom Balloon Boy, so whatever I have here is all that I got. So, first on our list, Spring Trip. I like this design, this look, even though again people have complained about it in the past. I for one don't really care. It's Springtrap, what do you expect? Next is Phantom Foxy, though I kind of think it's a bootleg because the eye is small, and plus I try to center it back in. That's a fail, but it's decent enough. I wouldn't really care, but I would like to get the official thing. Maybe this is the official thing, I don't know. Technically not a character in the game you see, but Spring Bonnie is a character that Springtrap would become or were before, and I am a proud owner of this Spring Bonnie, even though his eyes look wonky and he looks mildly angry. FNAF 3 already done. Now on to FNAF 4. Just a heads up, I will not be including the Curse of Dreadbear plushies because that is for a separate part in the video. Anyways, let's begin with Nightmare Freddy. Though I do like the inclusion of the plastic teeth, but it's again a plush that people have complained about on how his design is wrong, but and again, the inconsistency on these plushies is way too much. Next up, Nightmare Bonnie. I am 100% confident that this is a bootleg because the eyes are popping out of his sockets, but again, I wouldn't really care. If I could get my hands on it, the official one, I definitely would. Also, he doesn't have the cotton tail like the other body does. Next, Nightmare Foxy doesn't have the shorts, so well, technically the other guy doesn't have shorts, so why am I complaining there? But yeah, he's a better representation of his Nightmare counterpart than these two here. Lastly, Nightmare Cupcake. Even though we should have gotten a Nightmare Chica plush to go with this, Funko said Cupcake. Just Nightmare Cupcake. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 done. Now on to Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Now this is where I believe more of the rarer cases on FNAF plushies started to arise, because such location had a bit more characters and more exclusives to them. So it would make sense that they would have more Walmart, Target, or GameStop exclusives. Frankly, I was lucky to enough get almost all of them, minus the exotic butters. I don't know, it just seemed a bit too much. So let's rapid fire these real quick. First, Circus Baby, which if you guys know is the same baby plush design you would see in Help Wanted, which is the worst mini game ever. No doubts about it. You can't protect it. If you say you like it, you're a bot. Next, Funtime Freddy. The puppet, Bonbon puppet looks crap, and Funtime Freddy himself looks utterly crap. But again, I learned to like this design, even though it looks fake. Speaking of pretending to be somebody you're not, Funtime Foxy. You can't fool me because that is the official Funtime Foxy. You're Funtime Foxy 2.0. And if you don't agree with me, you're a bot as well. Next, the character that we all, I'm pretty sure all of us think that this is William Afton's wife. Which, I don't know how people came up with that conclusion. It's a decent enough blush nonetheless. I don't really care on how it looks. It just looks like a Funko's attempt on making things more doll-like, and yeah. Next is Ender, who frankly it looks like a sock doll more than anything. It's not my favorite, but I do admire it in an attempt on making something look wiry without having to make wires a wire doll. But I do admire it and think it's a decent enough as it is. Now on to the rarer stuff. Example A, Bonbon or Bonnet. The only time we get a Bon style plush, which makes me really wish they did make that Bonbon pup plush to go with this, because believe me, this plush alone good. It just makes me wish that we actually did get a Bonbon plush. Now, lastly, I think my most rare one in this list, Lolbit. I love this thing. It's definitely a better version of the Funtime Foxy, but even though it's just a recolor, I think this one just seeks a bit more on accuracy than the Funtime Gem Boy. Oh my god, this is getting cool. On to Pizzeria Simulator now, boys. Quick heads up, this is the point where I stopped collecting the Five Nights at Freddy's plushies, mainly because yeah, they were not really good, and I kind of lost interest in the FNAF community for a while, so this is where I kind of started getting up to being a FNAF fan, but there's a lot of missing ones, but mostly in Pizzeria Simulator because, my god, that game has a lot of characters. But let's start off with the ones that I do have. For example, Rockstar Freddy, which I'm pretty sure we all know for liking pennies. Next is Rockstar Foxy. It is Little Bird, which was the first time we actually see Foxy with a bird. Not a huge fan of Rockstar Foxy, but I can see some people liking it. Next, my favorite from the Pizzeria Simulator game is Helpy, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you also know for the Buff Helpy meme. I mean, who would have guessed? Next is L-Chip, which a lot of us know this is pretty much Chipper in disguise, waiting to plot his revenge on all the FNAF animatronics for taking his spot in gaming history, but I don't really care. Now, technically, that's where all the pizzerias with pizzeria characters would stop. But a while ago, I made a custom scrap baby plush. Though not my favorite thing, it could use some work, plus on the headpiece that's probably breaking off. The claw thing doesn't really open. I try to make it as accurate to the game as possible. And the skates, these are just Oreos painted orange, okay? Again, not my favorite, but I have a soft spot for this character, even though there are a lot more characters that better this. Every second I can hear the IRS coming this way. On to the next wave. Now, this is the part of the video where I will be showing off the other plushies I have from AR to Help Wanted. Note, I do not own the twisted plushies, or the twisted ones, because that is kind of where I stopped in general. I didn't get any of the twisted ones, and not even the black light plushies, which the black light ones I don't really care, but the twisted ones I kind of wish I got. Maybe in the future I will, but right now, let's get on with this shit. Instead of showing you them one by one, I'm gonna show you all in singular boxing order. We got Liberty Chica, Shamrock Freddy, Frostbite Freddy, Toxin Foxy, System Error Bonnie, the High Score Chica, VR Freddy, Toy Freddy, and non-VR Toy Freddy. Actually, I'm gonna break my one rule for this video just once. Since Funko made the System Error or network plushies, which is what I'm gonna be calling them, they also made them in action figure form. Though when I saw them for the first time, I was actually angry because it proved that Funko could make the toy animatronics in figures, but they didn't. So I had to put matters in my own hands. Yep, I got all the toy animatronics that were originally their AR counterparts and made them into figures. We got Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and RXQ. Now, what did I do with Toxic Foxy? Well, since if you break Toxic Foxy, you can get endo parts. So, Mango. I made a Mango action figure, and I love how I did this. It wasn't easy. It's flimsy as frick, but at this point, I prefer to have toy animatronic figures than these AR crap. To the Curse of Dreadbear stuff, which same thing with the AR. I'll review them in box because fun fact, they let you bring the box for free. We got Captain Foxy, which is a Walmart exclusive. I really like this one. Grim Foxy. I really don't like Grim Foxy. And Dreadbear, which I think is actually the only plush here with some care into them. And of course, the Jackal animatronics. Fun fact, I ended up actually buying 2 of these versions. And instead of me just keeping them, I decided to give them to my niece for free. So shout out to you if you are watching. And yeah, the Curse of Dreadbear plushies, though decent, they are not my favorite. Now, we are almost done with this collection, but before we get to Sizzle location, we gotta deal with the Bloom World ones. I think when Security Breach first came out, it was the most hyped game, so it would be no surprise why there would be more merchandise of it than half of the other franchises. Pizzeria Simulator had half of its characters. Same with every other franchise. Either they would be exclusive to the set, or they would just not be involved entirely. So, it's time to peel the bandage and look at all of the Security Breach stuff I own. Fun fact, I have quite a few custom and official. So let's start with Glamrock Freddy. So this is what I'm gonna call rough Glamrock Freddy because he has a more roughy exterior like this one. He is more made with a more rougher material, which I will demonstrate later, but it was a decent attempt on a character that would later be improved, which frankly I don't have that version, so we'll have to stick with this guy for now. Next, Monty, which I believe was a better adaptation of from the Funko line. Though not the best, he is decent. So he gets a little compliment. Next, Glamrock Chica, which again, she is a much more improved version of the standard Chica, right over there. So yeah, this one not being my favorite is still a better alternative to a regular Chica. Then Roxanne Wolf, my least favorite in the group, though not the best in design. Is that a horn? I don't know. No, that doesn't mean I didn't also get the Vanny. This one is made with a more softer material than the rest of the characters, so that makes her a little more softer to hold and squish. I still prefer, I don't prefer any of these Funko designs, which is why I will be talking about the U2's alternate versions, which I think are the best alternatives. We got Monty, which is probably the best Monty plush we have gotten, though these ones I was showing I'm calling the standing versions because they are in a permanent standing position than how Funko would have them sitting down like so. Next we got Roxanne Wolf. I love this design. It's way better than Roxanne Devil, and it is pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. Next is Glamrock Chica, which again is pretty well made and a lot better than that one over there. So it gives my thumbs up. And now for some other YouTube stuff. My son shoulder sitter, shoulder sitter, and my moon shoulder sitter, which I will be showing off how they look at the end of this video. In case if you guys are thinking about buying these plushies, just to let you know, this piece does come off, so you can have them as standard plushies, so they don't look like they're constantly sitting on a frisbee half the time. Now, I did brought up customs, so this is where I'm gonna bring in my custom plushies. First up, Gregory. I really am proud of how I made Gregory, trying to both keep the standard look of the Funko or U2's brand, but also keeping the original design. Also, his watch was hand painted and also used with a plastic piece of hot glue, and I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. Next, Vanessa, which is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot better than most of the other plushies here. Well, technically it's not official, but it is pretty standard, and I am happy on how this turned out. Plus, I tried to paint the badges on, but I'm not that good. Now, the last plush in my collection, by far the biggest one I think I've actually made, is DJ Music Man, which frankly is the biggest plush I own. He has a shining piece in his mouth to make it look like the bubble effects. He is made to be soft, and also his arms can also bend, so you can have him in different positions, but I just chosen to have him in this spider form because it makes him look more menacing. Dear God, we are finally done. I know the security breaches the characters in there are not original. They're just duplicates of other characters like Freddy with Freddy's and Chicas with Chicas, but they're their own. They feel like their own characters, that they deserve their own spot in that singular blank area, which was already feeling empty, like that corner over there. But yeah, here you have it. This is my complete and utter chaos of my entire Five Nights at Freddy's plush collection. All the plushies I own, made, and piled up together into a giant mess of stuff But I know there will be comments on this video asking me where do I get most of these stuff and where if they could have some of it. I'll answer the first question with eBay, Macari, or some other websites that do sell them. And yeah, like the Balloon Boy plush, it was the hardest one to get because that thing was expensive everywhere. But I will say, with enough patience, you could pretty much have an entire collection like this. Though, unless you had a time machine and went back in time to buy all of them before everybody bought them and sold them for millions of dollars. And the second question on if they can have it, hell no. Nobody is gonna get their keeping their hands on any of this stuff. I spent way too much money on this stuff. Those YouTube's plushies were already enough, and I'm still waiting for some to come in the mail. And hopefully, by the time this video goes live, some of them would have already arrived. And just like what I promised earlier, this is what they look like on your shoulders. They are really nice. They stick on very well and are very magnetic. For example, I could put them up here and they stick on really well. Let's find a magnet. There we go. Look at the camera, you little mongrel. I will be wearing these little guys on my shoulder for the stream for Five Nights at Freddy's Ruin. So don't miss out on that, because believe me, it's, well, once in a lifetime. I rarely stream any video games. Resident Evil was an exception of that. But I do want to keep some things consistent, and FNAF is one thing that I will always be consistent on. Though technically not exclusive, I still have the original Paradox plush. I would constantly update for many years, basically old season Paradox, not future, and also the Tattletale plush, which is still the best looking plush I own to this day. Though it proves that things like this never go away. If you love something, you love it, and you will constantly buy it. If you have something you want to buy or something you really like, don't wait around, because eventually stuff like FNAF figures or Poppy Playtime will go away in a short amount of time, so it's best to get them while they're still around, so that way you will at least have something to remember from the past. Because believe me, I have wasted more time not getting stuff that I like than getting stuff that I like. It doesn't make sense, but you will understand once you get older. But yeah, that is everything I got to show for. It's right now the 23rd, which means 2 more days until the Ruin DLC. Would I buy any other product other than FNAF? Most likely yes. I do like some of the new Poppy stuff that they are selling, but of course there's no time, there are not limited times, so I got a lot of time for that. Other stuff that has not arrived, I will do an unboxing or review of them, but right now I have a lot of plushies to put back. And I hope you guys enjoy this little video, and I'm proud I actually did this. It's a lot of FNAF history and a lot of good memories from it, and I hope that you guys have some good memories with Five Nights at Freddy's as much as I do. Anyways, take care, and see you when Ruin comes out. One last thing, I made this little Dark plush here mostly because I wanted to show Dark Gaming some support. He is another fan of the channel and is a really close friend of mine. He makes some pretty good edits and is responsible for some of the audio videos you have seen from went Jingle Bell's Krampus tale to Vortex's pouch. He makes pretty good audio and voice acting videos, and if it wasn't for him, most of the stuff wouldn't be possible. So thanks for all the support, Doc, and sorry for hitting you with a katana. I'll do it again if I